We welcome you to Frame It, where we work to deliver facts, increase transparency, and demand accountability in Alabama's democratic processes. Frame It is brought to you by Alabama Values Progress, a media advocacy organization breaking the cycle of disinformation during the times where the truth is hard to find. On today's episode, we will discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of last week's legislative days. After years of Alabamians being one of just 3 states to fully tax groceries, the Alabama legislature voted to give Alabamians some reprieve from sales tax. While it's not a complete abolishment of the grocery sales tax, it's a start. Starting on September 1st of this year, the state tax on groceries eligible for SNAP benefits will be cut to 3%, and then it will be cut to 2% in 2024 if the Education Trust Fund receipts grow by 3.5% year over year. The ETF is the state's education budget. Alabamians will still have to pay local and county sales taxes on groceries, but the legislature has frozen the amount that can be charged at the county and local level. Those governments can also choose to lower their sales taxes on groceries, but it will not be able to increase the amount shoppers in their area pay on groceries. This is a good starting point, but it would benefit Alabamians more if the Alabama legislature and local governments would abolish the grocery tax altogether, or at least make more significant cuts in the long run. Another bill that passed the legislature last week was a bill that would exempt overtime pay from income taxes. That means that money earned after 40 hours of work each week would be exempt from gross income calculations. An amendment to the original bill was passed that would place a $25 million cap in the ETF. That would mean that a person is able to claim every dime of their overtime, but the state would only pay for claims up to the cap. Now for the bad and the ugly. First, 2 bills signed into law last week by Governor Kay Ivey. The first was a bill that comes as one of the legislature's attacks this session on the LGBTQ plus community. The bill is a ban on transgender college athletes participating in sports under the gender they identify as. Opponents of the bill had said this is another example the Alabama legislature is using to create undue chaos and scare tactics around the LGBTQ plus community. Statistics show that out of the nearly 500,000 college athletes, 30 of them identified as transgender in 2022. The bill's sponsor, Representative Susan DuBose, says she brought the bill to protect women athletes. But if it was truly about protecting women, wouldn't the legislature be more proactive in passing legislation that actually protects women? If so, why does Alabama have the most stringent abortion ban in the country? Why has the legislature failed to expand Medicaid? And why do many birthing people have to travel 1 to 2 hours to receive OB care? There are instances in sports where women dominated men. For example, let's rewind to 1973 when Billie Jean King defeated Bobby Riggs in the tennis match that has become known as the Battle of the Sexes. And then in 1993, Julie Crom became the first female jockey to win the Triple Crown race after she rode Colonial Fair to the victory at the Belmont Stakes. We should let people be who they are and stop putting politics over people. Governor Ivey signed HB 379 into law last week that was called the Alabama Property Protection Act and targets Chinese, Iranian, North Korean, and Russian entities or foreign principals from certain countries from obtaining agricultural property as well as property on or near a military installation or certain infrastructure facility. The original bill restricted just Chinese residents from owning property and was met by objection and protest from Alabama's Chinese residents, many of whom have lived here for years and consider Alabama their home. Opponents of the law have said that the law is bad policy and negatively impacts Chinese Alabamians' view of lawmakers in the state. The bill was sponsored by Representative Scott Stadhagen, and if there was ever a bill that put politics over people this session, it would be HB 175. During Governor Kay Ivey's State of the State address in March, she pledged to give individual Alabama taxpayers $400 in tax rebates and couples $800.
We know that times are tough right now. A paycheck does not go as far as it did 2 years ago. That's why I'm calling on you to put nearly $1 billion with a B dollars back into the hands of hardworking, tax-paying Alabamians through one-time rebates of $400. That means $800 for our working families, and it couldn't come at a better time.
When lawmakers got a hold of the bill, it wound up being cut to $150 for individuals and $300 for couples. While $400 per taxpayer isn't a lot of money, it's enough to help Alabamians get ahead or simply pay for some additional necessities that they need. If the legislature can spend nearly $1 billion on a single prison, it could have given the larger sum to Alabamians. So in closing, let me put this in a frame for you. There have been a few good bills to pass the legislature, but overall, lawmakers have been up to their usual discriminatory and politics over people agenda. Alabamians must remember this when the time comes to go to the polls. We all must take an active role in keeping legislators accountable. After all, they work for us. Thank you for watching this episode of Frame It. I'm Kendra Love, and I'm signing off. Join us next time as we continue to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly going on at the State House. You can catch future episodes by following us on social media and visiting us on the web. See you later.